Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. Of course, guys. Thank you so much. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash the like on the video and put your notifications on in case I go live. And I'm live now. Of course, guys, unless I'm AI. Absolutely not. It's not Chatterbot. It is Chatterbox. It definitely is Chatterbox. And it definitely isn't Chatterbot today. Anyway, maybe in the future, I will have an AI and I will be able to talk to you about Man United with an AI. But nah, I'm live in the flesh, guys. Believe it or not. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Guys, let's get into some Manchester United news, shall we? Look, I've seen a lot of people who, one thing about me, I'm very balanced in my opinions with things. And I like to talk about things from all different angles. I don't like to have agendas. I don't like talking about whether it's the board, whether it's a player, whether it's the manager. I really don't like having agendas. I don't like talking based on emotion in regards to football. I don't like talking based on, unless it's the past, unless it's something to do with the history of the football club. I don't like talking about, things that, can affect the football club in an agenda kind of way, because at the end of the day, when I'm talking about the owners, I'll talk about it factually. I'll talk about what I've seen them do, and I will tell you how I feel about them, what they did good, what they did badly. And whenever we get linked to some players, we're going to get linked to a lot of players, and this is going to happen. This is obviously news that is fed out into the media across the airways that Man United are looking. It gives the illusion that Man United are keeping busy, and that is something that we really have to be aware of. That we don't fall for any tricks in regards to the illusion that they're trying to trick us into believing that they are actually keeping busy. And at the end of the January window, they say, oh, well, you know what? We tried. And that's not the case. But what I would say is this. I would take everything with a pinch of salt. I will always report the news. I would always tell you about players that we are linked to, and it will give us an idea of the caliber of players that we want, if anything. When we're talking about certain players, it tells you that, oh, we're looking for that type of player, or, oh, we're looking for that position, if you know what I mean. And this is why I will bring you the players that I have heard that Man United are linked with. Of course, now, let's get into some transfer news. And not many things get past Stretford Post, not only me, the community in general. Not many things get past Stretford Post. There's not a player that we haven't mentioned that is in the media at the moment that after weeks and weeks or months, we mention them. And not least Joaquin Palacelli. Now, Joaquin Palacelli is a 23-year-old centre forward from Strasbourg. Man United are heavily linked to this player, of course, a striker. Man United want a backup striker to act as cover in January. Now, Joaquin Palacelli playing for Strasbourg isn't going to cost a lot of money, around 10 million euros. It's not going to cost a lot of money, but is a player that is not recognizable by name. Only one cap for Argentina. Not really prolific. If you ask me, he scored goals. He's a bit of a journeyman kind of thing. But Man United do want someone in there that can act as cover for the striking position. Obviously, Man United have scouted this player. They've looked at this player. They've analysed this player. And they thought, yeah, this is the kind of player that we want. And this is the kind of player that we're going to go after. Look, this is a cheap option, of course. It's a cheap option. This is the Glazonomic sort of thing. And I don't want it being that Man United is just going to go after the cheap option in January. January is a perfect opportunity for Man United to prove to the fans that they are interested in actual football club, not just business. And that's what I want to say about that. There's a lot of people who are blindly supporting Ineos at the moment, blindly supporting them. And when you blindly support Ineos, you're basically a Glazonomic. That's what you are at the end of the day. And there are a few, don't worry about that, Glazonomic personnel out there that, just want to make all the excuses under the sun, especially in particular, not looking at the 4 out of 10 window that we had in the summer. However, Joaquin Palacelli, 23-year-old centre forward from Strasbourg, of course, is another player that Man United are interested in, another player that we mentioned on Stretford Post about 3 months ago, something like that, that Man United are linked to these players. Now, when we're linked to these players and these kind of players, they resurface, the interest resurfaces in regards to these players. It's basically like these players have already been on the list for months and months. They're on the list. Man United's list of players that they are interested in has been there since Ineos walked through the door. And I'm talking about that list, and that list. Obviously, I spoke about it last year about the non-Champions League list the Champions League list, the non-European list, the European list, if you know what I mean. The experienced players, the young players up and coming. And Man United have multiple lists, in particular, two main lists, which is the European list and the non-European list. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Those players on those lists, unless they sign for another club, are still wanted by Manchester United in some capacity. Joaquin Panicelli is one of them, 23-year-old from Strasbourg, of course. Now, before I get into the big guy, guys, Edison Castillo. Edison Castillo is a 17-year-old CDM who currently plays for LDU Quito. Of course, guys, very Ecuador team. That's from Ecuador, by the way. Castillo is an Ecuador player, 17 years old, being scouted by Manchester United, another player we have mentioned on Stretford Post, of course, with a Stretford Post exclusive, but he's a CDM, very, very capable player. Of course, Manchester United have already signed Orozco and players of that ilk from Colombia, who are going to be arriving in July. So Man United are looking at this type of player, this type of ilk of player that can come into our club and add that little bit of South American bite, if you know what I mean. We are scouting South America, not as potently as I thought we would, by the way. I thought we would have been scouting South America a lot more effectively, but we are looking at a couple of players. Of course, we signed the Colombian, but now we're looking at Ecuador. And Edison Castillo is the player that Man United are looking at the moment, 17-year-old CDM. Guys, you heard it first here on Stretford Post, of course. Said it months ago, but there we go, guys. Edison Castillo, 17-year-old CDM, of course, from Quito in Ecuador. Of course, guys, he is an Ecuador player. And future Ecuador international, I'm pretty certain about that. Now, let's talk about more household names, shall we, in regards to Man United being linked to these players, because Angelo Stiller is another veteran of the Manchester United linked train, isn't it? He's another veteran of that, just like Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton and Anderson and these players. Angelo Stiller is no exception. Now, Man United could make a move for Angelo Stiller in January. Now, guys, remember what I said before the show started? Remember what I said? I would take everything with a pinch of salt with what I'm hearing at the moment. I take it with a pinch of salt. I'm going to tell you the truth. And what I would say is that let's wait and see. It's now December the 10th. Let's see if we are going to do any moves in January. We should be hearing a lot more noisy noise, if you know what I mean, noisy rumors in regards to the January transfer window now. It should be now. We start hearing about it more. You start hearing links here and there, and certain respectable journalists and agents and stuff start talking about who we're going to sign, who we're not going to sign in January. Now, that is coming now. And of course, the AFCON will make it even more potent in regards to the rumors, because we are going to need players coming into the football club. Now, I know that Angelo Stiller is an absolutely fantastic player, and I wouldn't say no to Angelo Stiller. The problem with Angelo Stiller, again, is the price tag, which will be around 60-odd million euros. There was rumors about Angelo Stiller wanting to go to Real Madrid, but Real Madrid's interest in the midfielder at the moment has cooled somewhat, given the uncertainty with Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is a big fan of Angelo Stiller, but Xabi Alonso is not working out for him at Real Madrid for whatever reason. I know one reason, by the way, in regards to Xabi Alonso. The reason is that he's changed his formation. He's changed his tactics to suit the philosophy of Real Madrid, and it's not working out for him because he's not used to that type of tactics. Of course, at Bayer Leverkusen, he will play free at the back and stuff and play his own formation. You have to stick by your guns, guys. This is exactly what we're talking about, sticking by your guns and sticking by your philosophy. If you go against your philosophy, it just makes you look weak at the end of the day, and that's what I would say. But given the uncertainty surrounding Xabi Alonso, the interest in Angelo Stiller has cooled somewhat, and Manchester United are very interested and ready to pounce at any moment, of course, in particular in January, of course. Now, there was a rumor spread earlier today and yesterday, of course, about Manchester United not wanting to spend any money in January because they want to wait until the summer. This could mean a whole number of things. This could be a tactic to pretend that, you know what, to trick people into thinking we ain't got any money. So that people don't raise their prices. This could be the truth, that they're not going to spend in January. They're going to wait until the summer, which I don't understand, because if you don't spend in January, because, the European thing, and you wait until the summer. We could not qualify for Europe because we didn't spend in January. And that is the point I was trying to make earlier on. If we don't spend in January, we're just going to hamper our chances of getting to Europe, which is a contradiction of the summer window, which is going to be like, oh yeah, but we didn't qualify for Europe. We would have qualified for Europe if he just gave us the bloody players. Just like last January when we spoke about, listen, I don't want this being like we don't qualify for Europe because we didn't sign any players in January. This is what we said last year. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Of course, when we didn't sign any players in January, we lost the Europa League final, partly our fault. We lost it. One of the most embarrassing defeats I've ever seen as a Man United fan. No surprise there, of course, guys, given the way the team performed for many, many months and weeks last season, of course, guys. But things are looking better. I spoke about the improvements and the progress of Man United earlier on today in regards to goals, assists, shots on target, missed chances and stuff. Man United in every single category are better than last season. And also, not only better than last season, we're way up there at the top in the top three in every single stat at the moment. So when people talk about, no, we haven't improved, there's no progress, and that is an absolute lie. And as I said earlier on in the show, right at the top of the show, I don't like to tell lies. I just want to tell the truth. And that is, at the end of the day, that is how I put it. Let's tell the truth and let's call things as they are at the end of the day, because that is an absolute truth. Goals, assists, shots on target, missed chances, etc., guys. But what does the stats tell me? I'm not one who just bases everything around stats. What it tells me is that the quality of the team is not there because of the missed chances that we had. Now, if we just improved our missed chances by about 20-30%, Man United would be way up there in the league, definitely in the top three. And this is what we're talking about, improving the squad and getting the job done, at the end of the day. I would say that. Let me just say good afternoon, good evening, good night to all the community. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, my friends. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Bobby. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a great day so far, my friend. Good to see you. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Hope everything is blessed with you, my friend. Good evening, Ephraim. Good to see you, mate. Eric, I should say. Big up, Eric from Twitter. What have you got for us today? Big up, Eric. Well, I've got a hello for you, and I hope you've had a fantastic day, my friend. I hope you had a great day so far. Absolute legend. Thank you for joining me. If I haven't followed you, Eric, let me know. I will follow you right back, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, Eric. You legend. 10 likes, guys. Wayne, guys, 10 likes. We need to get 50 likes. This is how we do things on the show, guys. We need 50 likes on every show, and then we go from there. We take it step by step, day by day, of course. One day we'll be saying, we need 500 likes. That's what we need. We need 500 likes. We don't need 250 likes. We want 500 likes, of course. Big up, Kenny. Wayne Rooney, prime example of a player where this club misses work ethic and passion. Absolutely, mate. We don't have any of that at the moment, unfortunately, my friend. Stephen Maguire, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. In my local pub, watching Stretford Post, though, nothing better. I hope you're not all having a crack at the expense of me, my guy. I hope you're all having a laugh at the expense of me, all sitting there in a huddle in a pub somewhere in Ireland. Can you imagine? I'm halfway across the world, right? And you guys are sitting there in a pub watching Stretford Post. That's just unbelievable just to think about that, isn't it? Big up, Stephen Maguire. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and have another pint on me, my guy. Big up. Have a Guinness. No, actually, have a Jack Daniels, because I can't drink Jack Daniels anymore because obviously it's bad for my joints. So have a Jack Daniels on me, and you enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it, every single one of you. I do like the Baileys, though. I do like the Baileys, but unfortunately, I can only dream about Baileys at the moment, guys. Big up, Bobby. Mo Salah and Slot are taking the headlines at the moment, and that is a great thing for Manchester United. I want them to take the headlines. Let them take the headlines. Let them have all the accolades, because you know what? It's great that Man United are being forgotten about at the moment. The circus that is Liverpool at the moment, and the three-way triple threat match between Salah, Arne Slot, and Jamie Carragher is absolute popcorn stuff. Do you know what I mean? I ain't seen a good movie all year. I've seen a couple of decent movies this year. I mean, there was the new Leonardo DiCaprio film, of course, guys. But this Salah, Carragher, and Arne Slot situation is absolutely beautiful, and long may it continue, because you know what? The longer the negativity goes on at Liverpool, the more likely they are to finish lower down in the table, of course. Big up. Ephraim, Sal, is there any truth in JJ Gabriel want to leave? No, there's no truth, but there is truth about teams wanting JJ Gabriel. Of course, who wouldn't want JJ Gabriel at the end of the day? He's still on a youth contract. He can go to any club he pleases. Until he signs an adult contract, which he can't at the moment, he can go elsewhere, just like Aiden Heaven has, just like Chido Obi Martin has. They can go elsewhere if they wish, and it's just a small compensation fee, like we did with obviously Chidio Bimindin and obviously Aiden Heaven as well. And you know what, it is very concerning. Of course, you have to be concerned, and this is precisely why I was talking earlier about it. That JJ Gabriel's not eligible to play for in the league. I would say that, but he's eligible to play for us in the FA Cup. So when the FA Cup comes around against Brighton & Hove Albion next month, Man United need to ensure that he's playing. They need to ensure that he's playing. So subconsciously, they can try and entice JJ Gabriel and his family, because they have offered a box at Old Trafford and at the new stadium to his family, for him to stay at Man United and to convince him that Manchester United is the right place to be at the moment. And I absolutely agree that it is the right place for him to be at the moment. It is the right place for JJ Gabriel to be at Man United right now, because obviously he will get more game time and stuff like that. Of course, guys, absolutely. Big up Ephraim. Big up Bobby. Well played, Stephen. Big up Stephen. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Good morning, Coral. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing. What midfielder do you think we'll realistically get in January? Do you know what I would say, Coral? There's nothing realistic for me at the moment. I'm going to have to wait a few weeks until the actual window opens, because I've been here before and I've been disappointed by the news. You know, when the January transfer window comes, oh, we're going to do something next summer. You know, not because we were linked to players last January, and that's what I would say. However, I do hear things from very respectable people at the football club, and I do hear things about players that Man United are linked to and they're interested in. We're not going to sign all the players. Of course, we're not. If I was to think about a realistic target for January, however, I would say that it would be a cheap option. Angelo Stiller is a option that is possible, because he's not really fighting for anything at the moment at Stuttgart, and he could possibly come to Man United if Man United make the move. It is a possibility, and he's an absolute brilliant player, of course. Some people may doubt him because obviously he plays in the Bundesliga and stuff like that, and they're like, nah, I don't want him because he plays in the Bundesliga and things like that. Anderson is a difficult one in January, because obviously Nottingham Forest only in Europe. They're fighting relegation as well, and it's a very, very important period in their season at the moment. So I cannot for the life of me believe that we will sign Anderson. Of course, there is 100 million on the table being linked with Anderson and Manchester United, of course. What do you think about that? I don't know. It's a lot of money to pay for him. But if Man United are going to try and entice Anderson to come to our club, you're going to have to pay that top dollar, of course, to Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest are not going to want it to let him go. And then that comes to the realms of that's not realistic. Man United are not going to pay 100 million for that, blah, blah, blah. Now, if I was a betting man, which I used to be in London, if I was a betting man, I would say that Conor Gallagher, maybe a Yavi Guerra, maybe a Ruben Neves in Saudi Arabia, of course. That ilk of player would be a realistic proposition for Manchester United. A Christian Pulisic, that kind of player would be a realistic option for Manchester United. Those type of players. I cannot for the life of me, although we should see us signing Anderson for 60 to 100 million or Adam Wharton or players of that ilk. I can't. I hope that I am pleasantly surprised. I really do. I hope they surprise me and they pull it out the bag. I really do, because I want to see them back in Ruben Amorim. Now, especially if Man United are in touching distance of the top four by the end of this month. I want to see us saying, okay, we are where we are. We're near the top four. And at the moment we are. We're 1 point from fourth, guys. It's December the 10th, right? So if we're in a similar position at the end of this month, then I want to see the ball going, okay, great. Let's take this home. Let's bring this home. Let's get some transfers in. Let's solidify that fourth place. And that's what I want to see from Man United. However, I mean, obviously, I don't want to be negative. I'm not a negative guy. I'm a glass half full guy every single time. I would say that they will see it, the other flip coin of that. They will say, oh, we're top four. We don't need any players. Team's obviously good enough. We're top four. And will they look at the AFCON? Will they say, look at the AFCON, Ruben Amorim's going to be playing with, he's blindfolded because we ain't going to have any right side, guys. Absolutely. We're going to be like Beyonce, to the left. That's what we're going to be, because we won't have any right side. In Buemo, Ahmad, and Mesruri will not be at the football club. They'll be at the African nations, of course, which is going to be one extremely delusional not to be worried about that, of course. Absolutely, of course, my friend. Good afternoon, Wesley. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. How's it going? How is it going? I want to know your thoughts on Monday night's game against Bournemouth. We'll win to at least put a foot in the top 5. Now, listen, Wesley, my guy, listen, it's going to be a difficult game against Bournemouth, and not because Bournemouth are playing well, because they're not. They're 6 games without a win, of course. Old Areola, the genius, of course, as people have told me. But this represents an opportunity. What's the opportunity? Basically, the opportunity to change the narrative that these kind of games recently, in particular, we've been dropping points. West Ham, Everton, of course, guys, Fulham. These type of games we've been dropping points in, and I want us to put them to the sword. I do. The saving grace for Manchester United is that Bournemouth do play a much more attacking style of play. They're not a low block team. Now, I hope that Man United have learned their lesson from the West Ham game, from the Everton game. I do hope they've learned their lesson. This is a mental thing. It's not an ability thing, in my opinion. I do believe it's a mental thing with Man United players. When they come up against these teams, I don't know what it is. They just seem to go into the shell and not being able to break it down. They look at the defense and they just see this big wall. I don't know why. They just go. They play within themselves and they don't really create anything. I just want them to go out there, enjoy their game, spread the game, and put Bournemouth under pressure. It's going to be a difficult game, of course. They got Semenyo, of course, guys, one of the most popular players in the Premier League at the moment in regards to transfers and stuff like that. But you know what I would say is that I am hopeful that Man United do the business again on Monday. What do I think will happen? Of course, I think Man United will win the game. And if Man United do win the game, guys, listen, you can't really say much. That'll be 9 games, 1 defeat. Guys, when comes a point when the Ruben Amorim outers will start saying, actually, things are starting to get a little bit better now. We're not losing and stuff like that. And you can see that anyway from the statistics. Every single statistics in the positive sense, it's getting better. But we can't ruin it on Monday. I would urge those players, please, 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 do not ruin it on Monday. Do not give the minions a chance to open their mouth again, because that is what they want. They're waiting and praying that Man United lose on Monday. I don't know what Man United fan wants Man United to lose on Monday, but they certainly do. You just need to listen to their streams. God help you if you do listen to it. It's a really dumb-downing experience, guys. It does actually make you appreciate your sanity. But when you do watch it and you see them going in on Ruben Amorim non-stop, going like a broken record and stuff like that, they tell them at the Ruben Amorim inners, or the people who actually support Man United, by the way, they tell them, oh, you just fancy Ruben Amorim. Maybe they're jealous because they don't look like Ruben Amorim and they're jealous of Ruben Amorim. Maybe that's the point. Maybe we can twist that to them. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and this is what they do. You know, they say all this spiteful, nasty stuff to people who support the manager. I supported the manager from day one. I always will, because I've always believed that the Glazers are the biggest problem at this football club. They're the massive problem at this football club. Ineos are like an extension of the Glazers. You know what I mean? They're like an extension arm in the Terminator. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're like, basically. Go-go gadget arms. That's what they are. You know what I mean? At the end, that's what Glazers are. That's what Ineos are. They were the go-go gadget arms of the Glazers. You know, at the end of the day, you know, so they can grab that money and take it back to America, you know, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and stuff like that. Absolutely. You know, Kenny, Ineos loves summers. I mean, absolutely, because at the end of the day, I hate to quote the movie, but I know what you did last summer. We certainly know what they did last summer, and it was a 4 out of 10 window, and that's what it was at the end of the day. It was not a 8 out of 10 window like some ridiculous personnel were telling me. It was a 4 out of 10 window, so we certainly know what they did last summer, and guys, we will know what they do next summer as well. We're ahead of the game. We will know what they do next summer as well, guys, and you know, and we will remember what they say in January, like we did last January. What did they say last January? We are concentrating wholeheartedly on the summer transfer window. And what did they do? They brought in Cunha, great, but that was in the previous window. That was the other fiscal year. And Bremo, great, spent 3 months doing that. Sesko, good signing. And then they bought Senny Lamens last minute, which they bought him last minute, so it actually cost us points against Arsenal because they bought him in so late, of course. Wesley, when is Sesko back and Amorim must start Leach on Monday night? Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, Wesley, the lead chart comeback is extremely important for Man United. It actually has a domino effect on the whole team, in my opinion. We can actually move Shaw out into the left and play Shaw for 40 to 60 minutes on that left-hand side, which is actually, guys, believe it or not, his specialist position, isn't it? You know, that is Luke Shaw's specialist position. So what I would say, yes, Sesko is 2 weeks away. I don't think he'll be at the Bournemouth match. He could be on the bench. But I believe he's 2 weeks away, not the Bournemouth game, but the game after. It will be 2 weeks away. That is what I'm hearing at the moment. So we really do need him back. And if he does come back, it would be absolutely fantastic because we need him. And I want him to start scoring some goals, guys. That's what I want. I want to see Sesko scoring some goals. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Peace and blessings, RJ. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything. I want to see business done in January, don't we all, my friend? I hope Ruben Amorim keeps starting Heaven. I hope so as well. And look, guys, you know, Aiden Heaven is traditionally a left-sided centre-back. He's very, very good there. But I was so impressed with Aiden Heaven the other night against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know it's against Wolves. I know, but everyone's going to throw that little old chestnut at me. Oh, it's only Wolves. We won 4-1, guys. There's people actually saying, well, it's not a good result because we conceded a goal. For crying out loud, man. We beat Roma 7-1, did we? Is that not a good result because we conceded a goal? It's ridiculous the way that some people do talk, of course, guys. Eric, I appreciate it, bro. No problem, my friend. Yeah, already followed me almost for 2 years now. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, drop me a holler, man. Drop me a holler. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, man, for following me and supporting the channel. Really appreciate you, mate. Absolutely. This is the realest place to be. We don't have any agendas here. We talk a lot of sense. We have a great community. And it's good to see you here, my friend. Absolutely. Stephen, we'll do it, my friend. Glory to Man United. Yes, have a Jack Daniels and Coke on me, my friend. And yeah, enjoy it, my friend, because you know what? I wish I was in your position. Absolutely do. Guys, just a little heads up. I will be in Italy on Saturday. I will be back in Europe, of course, in Saturday. I will be in Italy, guys, so it will be a different surrounding. I will be in Italy, the same place I am every single year, of course, guys. But I will be there, of course. And so I will try and bring you Breaking Dawn, of course. I will get Chatterboxing and stuff like that. But I will be in Italy on Saturday. I'm flying out Friday night, guys. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But back in Europe, back in the old Italia, of course, guys. So looking forward to that, of course. Absolutely. Of course, guys. RJ, I think Brighton are going to beat Liverpool, Sal. Are they playing at Anfield or are they playing at the Amex? Let me have a look. Premier League fixtures. Let's have a look at this. So, okay. Liverpool, Brighton, they're playing at Anfield on 13th of December. So, yeah, 7 p.m. Okay, yeah. I might do some watch-alongs and stuff like that. Let's see what I have. I will be in Italy, though. And that's one thing. Well done, Inter, for keeping Slot in the job. Absolutely. It shows you how weak the Champions League is, doesn't it? Absolutely. Kenny could be Baleba maybe because no teams are coming in for him. Yeah, I mean, the problem with Baleba obviously is the African nations, and he's going to be at the African nations with Cameroon. So obviously it's going to be difficult to try and sort out that deal. The thing that Man United can do is bring in Carlos Baleba after January the 21st, of course. He won't be coming to Man United before that because he'll be at the African nations, of course, guys. But yes, that's the only realistic option. Another realistic option, but Man United are looking for players to play during the African nations. Man United are looking for players that can actually play because they are very, very short, and we are definitely. This is why I spoke early on today about Christian Pulisic and players of that ilk, because Man United are looking for players that can actually fill in, if you know what I mean. Ephraim, who are your best three centre-backs when everybody is fit at United? For me, can I be honest with you? I would like to see Aiden Heaven, De Ligt and Euro playing. But what's best at the moment is Aiden Heaven, De Ligt and Mazraoui. I would say that is the best at the moment, what Man United have. However, I would like to see long-term, I would like to see Aiden Heaven, De Ligt and Lenny Oro as the main centre-backs in my humblest of humbles, of course, guys. Ruben Neves on loan is a good shout. Absolutely. That will be a magnificent signing on loan, of course. We'll beat Bournemouth, similar attacking style to Brighton. Yeah, look, Brighton gave us a tough time for periods of that game, though. We did win 4-2, of course, but Brighton did give us a tough time on that game. It will be fantastic if Man United beat Bournemouth because then it will shut up the haters for further long. We've seen them, guys. We've seen them. They just sit there. Nah, bruv, it's not even about that, bruv. He's a fraud, bruv. Frauding out these wins, bruv. We conceded a goal against Wolves, bruv. Nah, bruv, not having it, bruv. Nah, bruv. You know what I mean? We all know who they are, guys. Absolute. You know what I mean? They won't say one compliment in regards to Ruben Amorim. They won't say nothing at the end of the day. They won't be happy until we got Patrick Vieira as our manager. That's what it is, guys. And if you know, you know. That would be 6 wins in 9 if we beat Bournemouth. Yes, and yeah, exactly that, and 1 defeat. Absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, listen, that's Champions League form, right? That's Champions League form. You know, that's Man United form at the end of the day. I would love to see that, of course. Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my guy? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Don't provoke my anger. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, don't do it. Man United 3, Bournemouth 0. I'll take that all day long, RJ, as long as we win the game. That's the most important thing. Anfield, big up, Kenny. Sal, I hope Madrid get a result against City tonight. I don't want Xabi to get sacked and then Liverpool might get him. Look, at the end of the day, look, I don't think Xabi Alonso is particularly going to work at Liverpool. I'll be honest with you. I know that Arne Slot is an absolute disaster, but I don't necessarily think that Xabi Alonso will work at Liverpool. The reason being is that he's an expert at the 3 at the back, and Liverpool don't play 3 at the back except in the early 90s when they did play a 3 at the back with Neil Ruddock, of course, Phil Babb, John Scholes, Bjornaby, and Jason McAteer, of course, guys. Those who know, of course, guys. So that is the only time I can remember vaguely Liverpool playing a 3 at the back, to be honest with you. So if Xabi Alonso comes in, is he going to feed into the Liverpool philosophy, which is 4 at the back, which they generally play in their history? I don't know. It's certainly not working for him at Real Madrid. It's certainly not working for him with that array of talent that he's got. He's got such a good squad at Real Madrid. I don't know why he's doing as badly as he is. I mean, I actually rated Xabi Alonso very highly as a manager, but obviously, as we said many, many times, there are certain managers out there, right, that fit certain teams in regards to level of the team. Like, for example, Glasner will suit Crystal Palace. You know, Areola will suit Bournemouth. But if they're moving up to a Man United or a Chelsea or Arsenal or Man City, they're not necessarily going to do well because they are lower league managers and they do well at the lower league. It's a bit like Sam Allardyce, of course. You know what I mean? What's that other manager that used to manage smaller clubs every single time? Neil Warnock, that type of manager, if you know what I mean. They can't manage big clubs. They can only manage small clubs, and they do well at small clubs. Bobby, just the Wolves game. I'm not going to jinx the Bournemouth game. No score predictions for me. Appreciate that, Bobby. No problem at all. I don't mind that. All I hope for is a win for Manchester United. That's all I hope for, and that's exactly what I said before the Wolves game. We hope for a win. I did say before the Wolves game that the game against Wolves will be different to the other games, including the Everton game and stuff like that, because Wolves are playing at home. And despite Wolves playing with a very, very low block back 5, Wolves were inclined to come out and attack us because they were playing at home. And in front of their own fans, they had to try something in an attacking sense because Wolves are in a relegation problem. They are in a bit of a pickle in regards to the relegation. They have to try and win some games, of course. RJ, Impremo, Ahmed, Mazuri gone. We can still beat Villarreal. Of course we can, mate. Of course we can. Of course we can, RJ. It's going to be difficult, but we can. We've beaten them before. So who is the La Liga centre-back we want? His passing is so good. Which one, mate? There's quite a few centre-backs that we are after. I don't want to get the wrong one. It's quite a few centre-backs that we are after. There's one that I mentioned this morning. The Austrian international. He is basically a centre-back who plays for Elche, right? And Affengruber. I think it is Affengruber. And he is linked to Man United, 7.5 million Elche player. Affengruber, I think it is. Yeah. My prediction on Muppeteers channel was Wolves 1-6. Flipping heck. Nearly, though. It could have been, RJ. If we're being totally honest with ourselves, Man United should have had about 6 or 7 goals that game. Let's be honest. It weren't enough, though, according to some fans. According to some fans, we didn't do good enough. We conceded a goal, so it's the end of the world. Man United should hold their heads in shame. You know what I mean? Wolverhampton Wanderers will score goals this season. They will score goals against Man City. They will score goals against Chelsea. They have done already. They'll score goals against Liverpool. That will happen in football. You will concede goals. Man United have conceded goals against small clubs before, believe it or not. Even under Sir Alex Ferguson, we conceded goals. You know what I mean? But now this is what they're trying to dig us with. This is the stick that they are beating Ruben Amorim with at the moment because they're so egotistical. And look, guys, listen. There's a number of people with big platforms that are just trying to be defensive, are trying to justify their opinion about Ruben Amorim. They will not change their opinion about Ruben Amorim. They will not come out and say, we won 4-1 against Wolves. Flex, for example, right? Proven wrong, but will never, ever, ever admit he's wrong. He's a narcissist. They will never admit he's wrong. And this is the problem with it. You know what I mean? Sal, what do you make of Carragher and Salah now? The drama is crazy. Long may it continue, RJ. Long may it continue. I want as much pain for Liverpool as humanly possible. Please, I would love that, guys. Absolutely. Is Salah the best Liverpool player ever? No, I wouldn't say that. No, I think Kenny Dalglish is their best player. In my opinion, no. They have had great players. Samuel, Footy Judge Mo thinks Manchester United fans started football in 92. Footy Judge Mo thinks football started in 2000 because he hasn't seen football beyond 2000. And that's it. Sorry, man. Sorry, Mo, but he hasn't. Football didn't start in 1992. Football started before that because we invented football in 1958 when we were playing in European Cup, before any other English team was playing in European Cup. If you want to talk about the birds and the bees, we can do that all day long because you don't know where you've been till you don't know where you're going till you know where you've been. And the reason that people have platforms, is because actually Man United back in the day. And I would say that 1958, 1963, 1968, when we were the first English team to win the European Cup. 1974, we got relegated. Then we built ourselves up again to become a cup team in the 1980s. We stopped Liverpool winning the treble in 1970s. But at the end of the day, guys, football started in 1992, according to them. Apparently, that's what they think we think. No, actually, we don't. We think far beyond that. We think way, way beyond that, guys. And to be honest with you, we think way before that. At the end of the day, what I would say is that if you want to listen to English football, if you want to watch English football and British football, make sure you respect the heritage of British football. That's all I would say to every single one. If you want to watch and you want to benefit from British and English football, make sure you respect the heritage of British football. That's what you do. You don't just because you started watching football in 2001, just because you got your first Sky subscription, you know what I mean? Just because you didn't know football existed before then, definitely not in North Africa and the Middle East, just because you think that and you think that you could disrespect Man United, in 1992, football think. At the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. This is the levels of knowledge that you have to dumb yourself down to, in regards to that. I could talk about modern day football all day long till the cows come home, till the horses come home. I can talk about that. But I can also talk about, football from the past, football, the Liverpool of the 70s and 80s. I could talk about Man United from the 60s and the 50s. I can do that. I could talk about Preston North End if they want from the 30s and the 40s. If they want me to do that, they really can. I could talk about when Arsenal got relegated in the 1920s. If they want me to do that, I can also do that. If you want me to bring up African football, I can talk about Hearts of Oak in Ghana. If you want me to do that, I can do that. And let's talk about Hearts of Oak and let's talk about Ghanaian football. Why not talk about South African football? Why not talk about Orlando Pirates? Why not talk about an Egyptian team who we should be supporting, Al Ahly? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we do Al Jazeera here? Why don't we talk about FC Tokyo in Japan? Why don't we do that? Not ready for this level of knowledge, guys. Not ready for this level of knowledge and no computer, no stats in front of my eyes right now. Nothing. Can have dumb people on their channel all day long who just shout and scream to raise a point. And you know what they say? When you have to shout and scream to raise a point, when you have to ridicule to raise a point, that is on you. That's not on anyone else. And that's what I would say about everyone. Everyone, not just one person. I'm talking about it in general, guys. All right? And that's what I would say about that. Absolutely. Kenny, what if Wolves get their first Premier League win get over Arsenal? I had a dream today. Look, listen, guys. If Wolves win against Arsenal, what all those Man United fans? If Wolves get a goal, look, listen. Wolves don't even have to beat Arsenal, right? If Wolves get a goal against Arsenal, what are all those fans going to say? Oh, they scored against the hardest. What they're going to say? Because that was what they were picking us on us about how Wolves scored. The first team that scored, Wolves have scored against since October. If they score against Arsenal, I hope they show the same energy. And if Arsenal don't win by 3 clear goals, I want to hear the same energy, guys. I want to see the same energy for them as well as they was for Man United, because Man United should have won by 8. Right? And that's what we're talking about at the end of the day. So apparently, Edison did well against Chelsea yesterday. Yeah, they won the game. Obviously, I think Atalanta, he's a good player at the end of the day, RJ. I think Calcedo and Enzo play. Yeah, he's a good player at the end of the day, but it was an underdog story at the end of the day, guys. Is the Elche player a fullback who is linked to man? He's centre back, my friend, a centre back. He's a centre back. Bilal. Yo, Sal, what good, my brother. Big up, Bilal. Long time no see. It's good to see you, my friend, not being on the channel. What's going on? It's good to see you, my friend. Good to have you back, my guy. Hope you're blessed. Hope family as well and everything like that. Really good to see you, my guy. Really hope you're having a great time and life is treating you well. You deserve it, my friend. Sal, Dan, big up. We gave Wolves one of their biggest defeats of the season so far and improved our goals record. But, they don't want to talk about that. Apparently, Wolves have been losing every single game 10-0. As far as I'm aware, if I was awoken from a cocoon, I said it, if I was awoken from a cocoon and I read the social media the next day, I would have thought that Man United lost 4-1. I honestly would have thought that. I swear to you, I would have thought that. Have a hot take. Mason Mount will make a good manager, in my opinion. Probably, Bilal. Probably the best players don't make good managers. I mean, relatively unknown, innocuous managers make good managers. You know what I mean? The only good player that I can remember becoming a great manager is Zinedine Zidane and Pep Guardiola. The only two that I can remember. I don't know, guys, if you're going to correct me. Maybe Kenny Dalglish, many, many years ago, who won the league with Blackburn Rovers. He did decent for a period of time. But not many great players become great managers. So maybe Mason Mount does have a chance. Now, Mason Mount's all right. He's done all right so far. He's doing okay. Mason Mount is doing okay, of course, guys. Absolutely. Kenny, scoring from set pieces has been improved as well. Absolutely. Everything has been improved, guys. I said it this morning in the show. I gave out the stats and I told you guys everything is improving in regards to Man United. And all people could do, you know what? All they can do is just try and bring up little petty little messages that they send me underneath my videos because they have no answer for it, because facts are facts at the end of the day. Straight facts. That is it at the end of the day. Samuel, do you think that Luke Shaw will become Dr. like Norman Whiteside? No way, mate. No, I mean, Luke Shaw, fair play to him. He's keeping fit this season. We battered Wolves. Don't listen to the negative shite. It's draining. Enjoy the victory. End of. Exactly, William. And that's what it is. And I definitely am enjoying the victory, William. That's one thing I did. And the funniest thing about it is that on my stream this morning, I purposely brought in some facts for them to digest. But none of them have come out and said, you know what, Sal? You have a great point, mate. You're right. We are improving. Now you put it like that. None of them come out of that. None of them come out of that. That just goes to show you where the mentality is and goes to show you that it is just all about an agenda for them at the end of the day, guys. You know what I mean? It's all an agenda for them. And that's about it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, look, definitely. Man United are hated, adored, never ignored. And it would always be like that, even from some people who claim to be our greatest fans in the world. Man United are giving so many people opportunities. Well, some of these content creators have been backed by Man United fans, which is why they got the platforms that they got, regardless how they got it. So at the end of the day, look, Man United are the biggest club and will always be the biggest club. And that is what I'm talking about at the end of the day. Football started when Man United started. And that is how and it will end when Man United end. And that's how I would say it. In fairness to Dalot, been playing well recently, although I would think we can try Luke Shaw at left wing back position and Leacher for the centre back. I absolutely agree with you, Bilal. I think Dalot has surprised me. I think he's done well this last few games. I don't have agendas. I want every single one of those players to do well. Of course I do. But you're absolutely right. Again, twice in a row, my guy. Yeah, look, you know what? I would play Luke Shaw as a left wing back as 40 to 60 minutes. Then we can bring on Dalot. Do you know what I mean? Or you can move, obviously. What's going to be key here, Bilal, is that we got the AFCON coming up, of course. So we could play Luke Shaw as a left wing back, Dalot as a right wing back, and obviously have Leacher, De Ligt, and Mazraoui or Lenny Ora in defence, and Aiden Heaven to back up. And I would like to see Mainu put into that midfield with Bruno moving up into number 10. This is if we don't sign anyone. This is if we don't manage to sign anyone. This is what I want to see, to be honest with you. Big up, Bilal. It's good to see you, man. GCTV, big up my guy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. GCTV 91. I hope you're blessed, my friend. I hope you're blessed. I know you're enjoying it, Sal. I meant someone. Yeah, I know, William. I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. I do know what you mean, William. I know you agree with me. I do read your messages and stuff like that. Thank you so much, my friend. And yeah, look. At the end, I'm just mentioning that I find it hilarious that no one came up to me today and said, you know what, Sal, at your video, only you, William, but you agree with me anyway. But no one came up to me and said, you know what, Sal, you're actually talking facts here. You're actually talking facts. Do you know what I mean? Alex Bruce, Darren Ferguson, Jordi Cruyff, Nigel Clough have all struggled to replicate what their fathers have done in football management, some of them in football playing as well, my friend. Darren Ferguson, of course, played for Manchester United way back in 1992-93 on our season winning. I remember a free kick against Southampton. I don't know if you remember that. He scored. If I'm correct, yeah, Darren Ferguson, but wasn't good enough to play for Manchester United, Darren Ferguson, which was Alex Ferguson's son, of course, yes. I mean, obviously, Roy Keane made a point about that, you know what, Alex Ferguson used to have favoritism stuff. Every manager has favoritism at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Negative Twitter fans are bots. They are bots, mate, but some of them are on YouTube, Bobby, and some of them all day long, all I see is them talking about Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't keep away from it because other people like this. You know what I mean? If I subscribe to anyone, if I'm watching anyone, I do see them, you know what I mean, guys talking about, Ruben Amorim in a negative light every single time, mate. It's exhausting, to be honest. If you're listening to them, it's like, bloody hell. Like, you feel yourself just slowly being sucked into the ground and turning into sand. That's what you feel like, because it's so demoralizing. It's so hateful and bitter. And you know what? That's why I called it the Mandem talk. The Mandem talk is the worst type of talk you could possibly have. There's no Mandem who manage football clubs. There's no Mandem who succeed at football clubs. There's no Mandems, guys. Let me tell you that, right? There's a reason they're called Mandem, because they still use the word Mandem at 40 years old, number one. So I call them the Mandem minions. The Mandem minions are the Mandem who connect with each other, and they go in each other's streams. They don't have anyone else on the stream who has an opposing view to themselves. And the reason they don't have an opposing view to themselves is because the majority of the time they will get schooled from people who actually know what they're talking about. And that's why they don't have it. And they can't take opposing opinions. And that's what it is, guys. Yeah, don't take his fault seriously. Absolutely. Yes, Kenny. Yeah, big up, Bobby. Big up, Kenny. RJ, he has a regret now. Absolutely, my friend. So the same Wolves team who loses 1-0 only to Aston Villa, the same Wolves team who lost 4-3 to Chelsea. The same Wolves team we drew against Tottenham. You know what? We can go on and on at the end of the day. All I would say is the negative ones. Please, please, please back the club. This channel is about backing the club 100%. Sal keeps it real, this channel. Let the other channels talk shit. Absolutely, mate. And listen, guys, we have to grow this channel. The more we grow this channel, the more powerful we will become as a unit, as a family, as everything. And we will always throw the truth, William. If we carry on growing this channel and we compete and we touch the ceiling with this channel, the community right now that I have a list of, I've written it down. I know all of you, right? I'm going to remember, and we're going to keep growing together as a unit, guys. We're going to make this a colossus of a channel. And this is what they fear about, guys. They fear us about that because we're all about telling the truth, of course. Didn't Wolves draw 1-1 Spurs? Yes, they did, Kenny. Yes, they did. And they lost 4-3 to Chelsea. Wolves scored 2 goals against Man City. They were a bit unlucky there. Yeah, exactly that. They will score goals against Arsenal. They will score goals against Chelsea. People are thinking because some reason they haven't scored against October. Right? And that's what people say, right? Which is only a month and a half ago, by the way. But, you know, what I would say is that Man United scored 4 goals. Man United had a weakened defense, 2, you know. Don't want to mention it, do they? William, this channel has a brilliant fan base and it's refreshing. Thank you so much, William. We need a bigger fan base as well. We need to keep growing with like-minded people like us, of course. We do need to keep growing, of course, and we need to be more powerful because there's so many channels out there that are just representing the norm and just doing rinse and repeat and just agreeing with each other. So I support you, you support me. It's like the Brady Bunch. There are this, that on their streams. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Dan, big up my guy back at Old Trafford to continue down, beat and run against any team right now will be an electric atmosphere to continue to show that we can do and push for you. Big up, Dan. That's what we're talking about. It's the positivity, isn't it? That's what we want, guys. The positivity. That's how we like it, my friend. That's the way we love it. Yes, William, I love this channel. Thank you so much, Bobby. You're an absolute legend, mate. I love all you guys as well. Absolutely. With everything, mate, because At the end of the day, I love Man United fans, and I love true Man United fans, real Man United fans, you know what I mean, who are not so swayed by the narratives out there that it's very easy when we were going through the bad patches to easily turn against the manager and just be like everyone else and just be a sheep like everyone else. We refuse to do that because we stand up for it, because we understand the context, we understand the cultural problems at this football club, and we'll forever do that at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Kula, my guy, what's going on? Good day, Devils. Good to see you, mate. Did KJ Gabriel really ask to leave Man United? I haven't heard anything solid in regards to that. No, I have not heard anything solid in regards to that. If he wants to leave Manchester United, then what can Manchester United do? Man United can try and persuade him to stay. But at the end of the day, do we want players who want to leave the football club? I'm not going to feed into it right now because obviously he's a young player and I don't want to feed into something I don't really know too much about 100%, of course, guys. So it could be just a rumor. It could be something malicious that was spread and stuff like that, of course, you know. Kenny, Xabi Alonso's job is on the line tonight. Real Madrid will definitely be up for it. I think Real Madrid are going to beat Man City. I don't know why. I just got this feeling that there is at the Bernabeu, right, Kenny? Yeah, I think that Real Madrid will win tonight. I got a feeling that they'll win tonight. I think that Bellingham will have a blinding game, and I think Real Madrid will win. Absolutely. Bilal, yes, Sal. Sadly, so many fans get manipulated easily, and that is the reason the other channels are constantly feeding negativity to your fan base, because exactly that. So what happens is this, right? What happens if you have an extreme opinion, Bilal? This is how YouTube works, right? If you have an extreme opinion, when your opinion goes right, at the end of the game, you get loads of clicks because people want to see your reaction. When your opinion goes wrong, you get loads of clicks because people want to see your reaction. You get what I mean? So people just want to see the reaction. So at the end of the game, people want to see the reaction. Now, at no fault of my own, I support the manager. I don't support. I support Manchester United. I'm not Ruben Amorim in. I'm not Ruben Amorim out. I'm Man United in. And I would like to call things in context. I believe that Ruben Amorim hasn't been backed enough, and I believe that he deserves a fair crack at the whip. But if Man United lose, you see a bunch of people coming on my channel to say I told you so, and they get loads of likes and clicks. And I'm not interested in that nonsense. I'm interested in my club winning. I'm actually really pissed off because if I was interested in those people, I would stay behind after the game and do a match reaction. But I don't. I wait 24 hours later in the morning, actually, a few hours later, 8 hours later in the morning to do my match reaction so that I don't say anything untoward, so I don't say anything that I'll regret in the morning. Those guys there thought, oh, yes, you know what? We're going to do a match reaction right now so I can get all the clicks and likes and stuff, whether they agree or disagree, and they'll only read the comments that they agree with. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they do. Or they'll go on after a super chat or something like that, of course. Kula, I saw Sir Alex had a chat with JJ earlier this week. I hope so, mate. I hope so. He'll persuade him, definitely. William, I just feel absolutely drained with all the small-minded dickheads. All we love our beautiful club, and this is the place for the good times. Thank you so much. We will be here, William. Don't worry about that. They should not be celebrating nothing. When we win, and I'll say when we are back, this is the place to be because we don't turn. Now, I'm not saying that Ruben Amorim is going to be invincible. I'm not saying that Ruben Amorim is never going to be sacked. But whilst Ruben Amorim is the manager, I'm going to back Ruben Amorim. What's the point of turning your back on the manager who's trying to win for Manchester United? Because if we win, we all win, right? At least I hope so. But these guys don't believe in that. They believe in, I want to be right, so I can go to that channel, I can say this to that guy and say, hold that. That's all they are interested in at the end of the day, sadly. The fans that want to prove right about Aaron Mamet, there's fans that actually want Man United to lose. Do you actually think that there are those content creators who sit there all day talking negatively on various channels about Ruben Amorim want Man United to win? Absolutely, they don't, do they, guys? They don't. Them other channels it's fake as shit. It's all about clicks. Yeah, right. Absolutely, William. Absolutely, it's all about clicks. There's just clowns who don't know shit about football or how football works. They don't know, mate. They don't know. They'll never know. This is why if Ruben Amorim is backed, if Ruben Amorim has the backing of the board, which I don't believe they backed him sufficiently at the moment, but if he does have the backing of the board, I would applaud Ineos. I would applaud Ineos and say, well done for not sacking him, right? And well done for backing him. I would say it. I would say it with chest. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would say it with chest. Well done for backing him. You know, and that's what I would say about it, you know? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, what can you do with these people? What can you do with these people? You know, you call out Ineos, you call out what they haven't done in the way, you get people on Twitter, bots on Twitter going on and on about it. Do you know what I mean? It triggers me, especially on Twitter, there's loads of them, mate. There's loads of them. There's so many of them. The most important thing, RJ, and it's something that we should all concentrate on, right? And we should all focus on right now. Man United winning the next game. The more we win, the more it's going to hurt those people, isn't it? Us saying things, they love that. They love us saying things. They love it. They love it, love it, love it. They love it. What's important is Man United winning against Bournemouth. That's what it is. Win against Bournemouth, they can't say nothing. 9 games, 1 defeat. We're getting into Champions League. As Kenny said, 6 games, 1 out of 9. It's not an half bad, is it, to be fair? You know what I mean? Even in the Man United's heyday, that wouldn't have been a bad little shout, wouldn't it, at the end of the day? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. And let them spread the anger. Let people spread nonsense about Man United, whatever channel it is. Let them say that we were invented in 1992. Let them do that. You know? Let them do that. Egypt didn't know football existed in 1992, so I don't even know what they're talking about. I know nothing about bloody football, for goodness sake. They need to be quiet at the end of the day. What we talk about now, you know who that is. So what we're talking about, if you want to say that Man United existed before 1992 and you want to dismiss the Busby Babes, it shows more about you, you know what I mean? But no, look, when I say, you know, we won it 3 times, we won it 3 times, people want to cry about it. Yeah, I'm with you, Sal. I back the manager because if it does well, the club does well, we're all happy. Fingers crossed for Amram. I wish him nothing but glory for us. Our fingers crossed for him as well. That's exactly how I feel, my friend. That's exactly how I feel. I feel that way as well, mate. I feel exactly that way as well. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. It's been a splendid show. Great chat, man. As usual, lots of great conversations here. Ultimately, there's a lot to be spoken about. There's nothing really to be negative about because we've just beaten the Wolves 4-1. We're 8 games and 1 defeat. So things are slowly improving, of course. So there's something to be elevating, not taking away. Because I know that a lot of people want to take away from what is going on at the moment at the football club in regards to elevation. Now that we're starting to not lose, this is something that we need to elevate, not bring down. You know, because there's a lot of people want to bring it down. They want to ignore it because, oh my goodness me, if Ruben Amorim is a success, if Ruben Amorim is a success, oh my goodness me, what am I going to do? I'm going to look like such a prat. What am I going to do? And that's what it is at the end of the day, guys. That's how we say it at the end of the day, guys. But not me, of course. Great chat, William. Absolutely, every single day, guys. Guys, thank you so much, guys. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're lurking in the shadows, please don't forget to smash a like, guys. I've had about 40, 50 people in the house. That will increase as we go on, of course, guys. Great plans for the channel. Fantastic plans. Keep it locked on Stretford Post, guys. Absolutely. Going to blow it out the water. Absolutely, guys. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Your comments aren't appearing. You're right here, your comments are right there, my guy. Absolutely. Great, Bobby. Enjoy yourself, Bobby. Enjoy yourself, everyone. Benny, everyone, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is, of course, Chatterbox. And I'll see you in the morning for Breaking Dawn if nothing else breaks, of course. But keep your notifications on in case I do go live, guys. You never know with me these days. Take it easy. Wait, hold on. Let me read it for you. I type so much. Yeah, you're typing too much, RJ. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But yeah, I got you, mate. I got you. Guys, bring it on. Bring on Bournemouth. We move on, guys. And that's how we do it on Stretford Post, guys. Take it easy. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy. Peace.